G'day, welcome to Just a Walk. Thanks, a podcast with a bit of betting, but a lot of bloodstock. Butch Bourne, Mick Gannon, Rob, Roberto Scurry, and Jono Rayner join me, Jack Dickens, to dribble a little bit of dribble about what's gone on the last week and what it looks like moving forward. We've been away for, is it over a week, guys?
Mm. Yeah, it's been almost a fortnight. Yeah.
Yeah, and in between that, we all witnessed like Butch has been laid up, Crook getting his foot fixed, his fetlock, some surgery, some more surgery, but it didn't stop him attempting one of the great plunges of all time on a country racetrack in Victoria. It was Seymour. It was the Butchborn Maiden. He named the race after himself that he was going to set one up in, which was just full flair, and I love it. Um, the second horse was Nasumi. What was the first horse, Butch?
Trangajare is the name of that animal. But yeah, thanks for that, Dicko.
So
A
just
little
take
bit
us through it a little bit from your point of view, and I'll sort of cut in when I need to just make sure the truth is, there.
right, right, okay. Yeah, no, slightly self-indulgent trying to win a race that's named after yourself, but as a corporate sponsor of the club, I don't have any say in which races I get. So it just happened to lob into the Bourne Racing Stables Maiden. But there was a little bit. Look, it's don't you don't have to sort of try to build it up too much. There's a little bit of late money for it, but that's
Oh,
that
it was $20 into five.
yeah, that was just a correction back to the from bookies to toads. That was all that was.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, yeah. No, it's not. I know you're trying to to make it into something that it's not, but a horse that had trialled up nicely and ran a nice third first up. And has a future anyway. Um, Purchased from the Adelaide sales, where the Maurice filly was purchased from that we got this year. So I always found that a good hunting ground for capable horses. So I see no reason why that shouldn't continue. That would be broken in now, Rob, Jono,
Yes, yeah, it's breaking in at the moment. Yeah,
through the prep. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
If we
Nice
were
filly.
if we were to get the same sort of you know vibe about the Maurice filly as you've got about Nasumi, and we were going to send it, it's probably going to go to say Gosford, a Gosford maiden, or a Wyong maiden. Would we do anything differently to what you did? In regard to, we think we can win. We're going to probably have a big bet here. We're going to set off one of the great plungers in 2024 on a Victorian provincial track. It got the attention of the greatest rider in Australia, even. That's how big it was. Are we going to do anything different? Would we do anything different? And what would they be, Butch?
Well, there's multiple ways of procuring odds, Jack, and one of them is to not draw attention to yourself. So a strategic rider engagement would see that wouldn't happen.
But would we change the strategic rider for the day that we wanted it to happen, or would we?
Oh, look. There's probably certain things during the run that you'd like to see differently, but
Who,
anyway, we move on. That was 2 weeks ago.
who did Moody put on Black Caviar? He had some WA apprentice.
Jared Noski.
Yeah, there we go. Jared Noski.
Yeah, there's a trivia question for you.
Yeah.
Now, Dicko,
Sort of saw every part of the Seymour track with both those bets, didn't we? Like inside rails and run, held up, flew, and
yep.
then outside back to inside, back to outside, covered everywhere. Nasumi and the other horse both look like they have a good amount of ability. Where to next with them for anyone listening and who wants to, be on next time? Because I think whilst a lot of money was, I don't think a lot of people were last start.
Oh, look, there'll be races for them. No, not necessarily. Maybe one next week at Benalla, but we'll just see how that pans out, Jack. No rush to get back to the races with them.
Beauty. Last week at Flemington Anzac Day, we saw a pretty nice 2-year-old colt by Dundee Epimoles. I thought there was a lot of guts to the win. I like the style of the horse, the way it was able to be tractable, ridden into a spot, and just like flattened out that last little bit. Dundeal's starting to sort of really fire in here, Butch. That's a 2-year-old colt winning a decent race. They could shoot at something like a King Colorado won it last year, JJ Atkins, or the year before, sort of race in Queensland as a 2-year-old, or put him away, freshen him up, and look at the sort of Caulfield Guineas being a done deal.
Look, I'd say Mick could probably know a bit more about this, but Trent and Natalie would be more inclined, I would say, to pursue Queensland. I haven't read anything about post-win, what they're going to do with it, but my instincts would say that they might have a crack up at Queensland. But he's a very nice horse, and Dundeal's just had a fantastic 12 months, really, 2 and 3-year-olds.
Would you say he slipped through the cracks? 130K at the Magics as a done deal colt.
Yeah, well, and price-wise, you're talking the sweet spot, aren't you, for buying good horses? So it ebbs and flows. It's a trend, a fashion industry, and Dundee starts off, shows a bit as a stallion, has a lull, and during that lull, everyone takes advantage of the lull, and hence those sort of horses get through. Everyone's running around, bidding up on the higher priced horses, and these horses just, they're not. A done deal is not your classic Australian sprinting 2-year-old, but gee, I tell you what, you got to get some good race horses, by him.
What do you make of the win, Gano?
Very impressive. Just on the horse, spelling, which probably says a little bit about their opinion of it, which it's now spelling not going to Brisbane.
Well, yeah, I would say, because Trent and Natalie love a Victorian Derby, and they generally have a runner or two in it. So I'd say that they've straight away, they just put their minds to that race.
Well,
yeah, win was super.
Sorry,
absolutely. No, sorry, mate. Yeah, win was super. I just want to see it beyond 1600. It'd be fantastic.
What were you going to say, Rob?
Well, they don't put any of the good horses to the Derby anymore. Like we saw the best of the Dundeals just be retired, militarised this week. Another one for Debbie on the last day of the championships, number 8. Shout out to my mum if you're listening. She picked it in the Debbie Capitas colours. That was a done deal horse that in the Tannhauser race, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, done deal's going well. What do we think of militarised? How's it? What I think the question is, what kind of fee can he demand first season? And are these first season fees, a bit of smoke and mirrors, Butch?
Well, they've all been published, Rob. He stands at 38.5 and's full already. His book is shut. He went to start at 38.5. Osmosis went to start at 44, and they're both full. You can still get a mare into King's Gambit for 22 if you like.
He was a horse with a lot of ability, but a complete head case on race day. Like I've seen few worse good style of horses parade as badly, as consistently as that horse did.
Yeah, sorry.
You go. Push.
Yeah, no, well, it's one of the most important things about a racehorse is temperament. So that would be, and it's not everyone saw the way King's Gambit used to behave, so it's not a secret. So yeah, I mean, Smart Missile probably didn't parade that bad, Rob, but he certainly had a few temperament issues, and his stock every now and again you could find one that had the same sort of behaviour as he did.
Would that be the same with Russian Revolution? He was a psychopath.
Rob?
I can't really place him. I think he did most of his racing in Melbourne and Brisbane. Well, maybe Snowden I remember, but no, I can't really remember him. I'm getting him mixed up with those other China Horse Club colours.
Just on the done deals, like you've got Celestial Legend that probably 1 or 2 lengths better than Militarized as well. I just can't wait to see that horse. What he produces, because the spruik on Militarize has been huge naturally. But what's your opinion, Rob, on that horse, Celestial Legend?
Lovely horse. Yeah, it's a tricky stable for me. Les Bridge, he does buy well. They seem to, I don't know, I just can't seem to get on the right days with him. But yeah, lovely big stride on him. I heard Neil Payne saying he would win wherever he went to next start. Neil does, he's prone to a bit of a comment, as you know, been working for Gay. But yeah, Neil has told me after he won it, the good race, the Hobartville, he said he wouldn't be beaten next start. And yeah, he got no advantage against Militarized that day, and he still stuck his head out and beat him. And then he went on to win the, Doncaster. So I thought he'd be off to Hong Kong, but I'm hearing he's staying in Australia for, maybe they think it's better as a stud option. But yeah, he's clearly the best 3-year-old colt in Sydney.
Clearly, yeah, I agree with that.
Butch, do you think Militarized could end up a bit of a similar stallion of the Autumn Sun?
I think his race patterns were probably more positive than the Autumn Sun, and Mick can go back through the form probably off the top of his head. Autumn Sun never tackled a Doncaster. I think Militarized won did he win a Golden Rose?
Don't remind me. 20-unit swing on NCAP. Got up there on the last stride.
In the Golden Rose.
In the Golden Rose, but he's beaten NCAP, which is really a BM 90 horse, really. Where's he gonna fit in 6 months' time?
Yeah, but we'll just look at the winner. We won't worry about them.
Good breeding, man.
We won't we won't worry about the perennial place getter.
Yeah, the other thing I'll say about Dundee, he was a tiny little fella, and Militarized was only a small horse, wet track, and he seems to be getting, his progeny seem to be going really well on wet tracks. So, yeah, it's hard to see Dundeal's commanding. They don't look like top sales horses. They're a bit littler. You've got to have a good eye to sort of appreciate them, don't you think, Butch?
Yeah, they're more your middle distance horse. So the thing is, when they get to a January, what you're looking at all the sprinting, the Zoo Stars and Vinnies and that, and then you got Dundee, and was a completely different shape of a horse. So and a horse that's going to need time, probably not 2-year-olds, and that's why Mick was talking about that one of Busselton's that won at Flemington the other day. Very positive sign. To see a horse like that be able to win that race, and that's my idea of a racehorse. Something that's going to have a few, 2 or 3, 4 seasons of racing, and be able to race at a good level. So, that stallion line, it's good. High Chaparral, it's the best line of High Chap over here via Dundee now to Militarized. I remember Militarized cost a lot of money as a yearling. In January, he was a very, very good type of horse. And as Dicko will tell you, Northern Dancer was only how big, Dicko?
Tiny. That's
Pony.
all I know.
Pony?
It wasn't a big boy.
Butch,
He's a pony. Yeah.
you're fighting words. Isn't So You Think the best high chap? Not the breedings. It doesn't have, but he was the type. He was the best looking horse you've ever seen.
Yeah, he doesn't. I think with that stallion line, Rob, I think Militarized to me is the one. If you're looking at Sons of Dundee and So You Think, Militarized has got the race profile to be a successful stallion. So at this stage, I'll say that that's probably the best. The best chance from that High Chap line. Anyway, so all the fees have been published in the last week or so, and
Great content, wasn't it? Shout out to Henry and Newgate. Really sort of sucked you in there to try and catch it, the full length video on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw the first bit, but I think I was on a lot of painkillers, but I did nod off. The first so you got Extreme Choice at 275, Schnitzel's at 247.5. Might as well make it 250. I'm Invincible 250. And the two that are hovering above the 100 are Animo at 121 and Too Darn Hot at 110. Now, Too Darn Hot has arrived at 110 off his 2-year-old season. He's up from $40,000. So big hike for Too Darn Hot. But and then you've got all the new ones at stud. You've got Shinzo going to start at 50. You've got King's Gambit, as we spoke about, 22, Militarized 38, Osmosis 44. They've kept Tassort at 38.5. They've Alabama's 55, Piarata 66. Justify is not coming back to stand at Coolmore this year.
It's fascinating.
Yep.
This is betting on a big boy stage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, eggs in a basket with Stormboy. They obviously want Stormboy to be the to carry the can for them. Interesting horse that they're standing for about 55, I think, is a horse overseas called Paddington. He's a Sayuni. He won the St James Palace Irish 2,000 guineas. He's got form around the horse that we know that raced out here. I think Jamie Spencer rode him, West Wind Blows.
Yep.
Yeah. Paddington was a bit too good for him. I think it was in the St James Palace Stakes. But he's a Sayuni out of a Montgermain, so very, very good racehorse, very well-bred horse. But, for the fees the good middle distance or staying stallions cost you have a look at New Zealand. I think rather than spend 50 on a newie, I think there's plenty of value to be had. It's probably a case to be had for breeding those sort of horses in New Zealand, to be honest. There's only two at the moment showing anything here, which is obviously Done Deal and the Autumn Sun trifecta, the Oaks the other day. He was very slow to start. And Autumn 3, there's been a few fillies sort of put their hand up and go really well. You'd like to see him with a dominant male, which he hasn't had. So, but interesting times for him between now and Christmas time, I wouldn't like to overreact off the one race myself. Yeah. He had to, the narrative was time and distance, and he's come good with both of those. So there's a watch on him over the next 12 months.
He had a big weekend. What is the horse racing bloodstock veteran attitude towards a stallion that's starting to show a real lean towards fillies? Is that a positive? Is it a negative?
Oh, well, it's something you'd note. I'd say generally, going left when everyone's going right's always been a good thing for me, because that's when you get value. And, now's the time to, keep your eyes out for a colt by the horse that you think might be a Derby or, middle distance type, because the market will probably be off them, that would be. But look, he's fees advertised at 60, so it's enough money for a long wait,
Would Animo already be full?
Yeah, I think Animo. They sold shares in him, so he's guaranteed. But he will get good solid books all the way through. Most commercial stallions will get their best book, in their first year and then taper down with quality and numbers. But I think you'll find Animo will be well supported right through until he's proven not to be any good.
On those figures you just said, Alabama Express to me still stands out as value at 55.
Yeah, I think he's we spoke about the figures last week. Too Darn Hot, Pierrata, Alabama, etc. Blue Point's still looking for his second winner. I think he's got a runner at Warrnambool today, actually. But they Too Darn Hot's a tip to go past Blue Point in Europe as 3-year-olds. Where see Blue Point hit the ground running in Europe, really hit the ground running. It was quite phenomenal how things work in both hemispheres. But in my lifetime, I've seen a lot that work good one hemisphere and not the other. So why does that happen? The only thing I can put it down to is the different pool of mares. So a European stallion serving European mares as opposed to Australian mares and vice versa. Because I don't think, Redoute, Sioux Star, Fastnet, they've all gone and shuttled to the Northern Hemisphere. I don't think any of them have set the world on fire up there. I only ever had one Galileo, and it won 1,000-metre maiden at Pakenham. So, which sort of defies the trend of Galileo being a sire of classic horses. Brian Maloney, thank you.
Pug.
The pug. Yeah, so they're the stallion fees. Capitalist 66,000.
Ole Kirk's almost doubled, didn't it?
Ole Kirk. I'm not sure because
Ole
that
Kirk was incredibly well received, and surprisingly to me, how popular he was. But then you saw him, and you could sort of justify it. But he was very popular at the sales that I was at, and I think they're sort of
he said. Well, he stands
on the back of that.
He stands at 55. Yeah, it's look. It's the greatest debate of all times. Are you breeding to race? Are you breeding to sell? Commercially. So, and there's just parameters and rules you stick by if you want to sell a horse. So, go to first season size. No one can bag them. Go to proven sires because they're proven. That's generally the way to breed commercially. But and then you got the murky bit in the middle, which is are they going to be any good? Yeah. Oh, and the other one too, Rob, is it Panthalassa?
Yeah, the Japanese Tenno Show hero that got beat.
Yep. Yeah, well, he's standing at Yulong for 16,500.
Oh, Rob's ears just pricked right up.
I don't
Do you
know.
think 55 for Alabama's unders of how hot he's, like how good he's started? If we had to have a bet on it, it's gonna be 88 next year, or is it gonna be 55, or is it gonna be 44?
Well, interestingly, the Australian horses in the same crop, Alabama, Pierrata, and they're 55, 65, and Too Darn Hot, gets a mile winner on a heavy 12 and goes up to 110. I mean, you'd just like to see a little bit more substance than that before you mind you, in saying that, you probably won't be able to get a mare into him, for that money. So, can they stand him at that price? Of course they can, because they'll fill him up, So Dundale's at 82.5 and Morris is at 82.5. So, there are probably a couple of stallions that are at a price where you can still get a result in the sale ring and also breed yourself a good horse.
Hey, fellas, this one from left field, and I'm an absolute dot ball when it comes to this stuff. But Pride of Dubai, 22,000. You're talking like a Bella Nipotina, a Dubai Honor, and Pride of Jenny. There's a bit of scope there. It's not just one dimensional. What are your thoughts on Pride of Dubai, Butch?
Yeah, they're big sort of.
Can I have a crack at this first, and you tell me if I'm wrong or right?
This is good.
Yeah, I'd love to do this.
They're not amazing types. They don't like athletic looking. They're not popular at sales ring. But if you dive into the numbers, he's actually very solid, regardless of the superstar horses.
Yeah, okay.
And it gets back to, I think, what Butch just said, like racehorse versus sale horse. How wrong am I there, Butch?
Yeah, well, what happened with his performance as a stallion, and this is what happens to all of them. There comes a time where the market moved past them, and then the market moved past them, and then he's come out with some really elite racehorses. But before Dubai Honor came along from the Northern Hemisphere, we didn't really see his males being anywhere near good enough down this way. And he had some, obviously very, very good fillies and mares. But then Dubai Honor's come out of the Northern Hemisphere just to muddy the waters slightly. But yeah, it's all come too late for him. So, but if you had they were big, a lot of them big heavy types that I saw. The only thing I would say is take your little pony mare to get served by him. So that the progeny is not going to be anything, on the too heavy.
Yep.
His best male in Australia would be hypothetical.
Yeah.
Which is, that's how fickle it is. He was a lip away from winning a Group 1.
Yeah,
2 months ago.
and there's a few stallions in that category as we speak. Got to remember, good sized winners like Seamus Award and Rubik were moved on from their commercial studs because time just passed them in the ring, and they hit their straps post the change of farms. So they're still out there. Both horses are still out there at a fee as well. So, but that's fairly much that's pretty much all the commercial horses that prices. So there's the three up the top at about $250 each. Extreme Choice, Vinny and Schnitzel, and then Animo and Two Done Hot at 120 and 110. So.
What about Harry Angel? Where's he at?
Harry,
that
Harry,
capital asset that won on Friday night at Cranbourne in the fastest last everything of the night, Gano. Some like severely quick splits. Won in a fashion that no other horse won on the night and really do at that track, particularly on debut. 330 into 280. So it's a nice horse. It was expected to do well, to go well. This is an exciting colt. I know it's Cranbourne on a Friday night, and I know Clinton McDonald is absolutely airborne, but this is an exciting colt.
Absolutely. What do you pay for Harry Angel? 40,000 or something?
Well, they paid 400.
Yeah, so he stands at 38 and a half. And that particular horse was 400,000. He was, there was I do remember seeing in his first two crops, there was a lot of them that were very, very good types. So, it doesn't surprise me to see that horse come out and win like he did the other day. But he's bubbling away nicely, and it's Stratton Angel's a good filly. That horse looks like he's a good colt. So there's enough there's enough around at the moment to his numbers are pretty good, I'd say.
His numbers are really, really strong. And
Mill Park produced the Harry Angel.
Did they, John?
They did indeed.
What else they produced?
Yeah, he's a half brother.
Sorry, John?
Nice Seamus Award we picked up in Adelaide off the same farm. A farm you were very keen to get some progeny off.
Enormous hospitality there, Butch.
Yeah. I had a paper plate full of heartburn there one day, which is
and so did Rob's Uber driver.
Nazim.
Yeah,
Nazim. I've never seen anyone eat so many sausage rolls. He when he found out they didn't have to pay for them. But they are beautiful homemade sausage rolls with the relish. Yeah, fantastic.
Homemade relish from memory.
Yeah, everything from Nana's backyard. But yeah, he's that horse that won the other night. He's a half brother to Senortoba, which was a Waller horse that was vying for derbies, I think. Big
The
grey
autumn sun
horse.
colours, wasn't it?
Impossible
Heritage.
colours.
Yeah, and he
What?
now races up in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Very good horse. And and the other horse out of the mare is Berkeley Square.
Wow.
She's a very, very good mare. So yeah.
I think this might be a Caulfield Guineas horse then.
Yep.
Golden Rose, Caulfield Guineas.
Well,
Something to look at for the futures punters out there. You want to roll down a local RSL or pub, find a tab.
What
Yeah.
would it be?
Unfortunately, you'd have to call them, ask them to put it in the market, and it'd be $26 because you've told them about it.
Yeah.
And now I've told everyone about it.
I thought his was overs.
Clinton McDonald had another nice horse on Saturday. I don't know if it was lucky the other horse scratched or not, but that Stanley Express Star Spangled Banner, they paid 110 for it, Butch, as a wiener.
Yeah.
Luke Nolan gave it an absolute peach.
Oh,
And it just pissed in.
Yeah, it managed to find every run that was going as opposed to some other runners in the last fortnight. But the which opens up the conversation on one of the greatest secrets in horse racing in my time, which was the wheeling sales and trying to buy race horses as weanlings, and it's been very lucrative for 20 odd years, but it's becoming a bit more prevalent now. And you'll find probably too with when they first started wheeling sales, they were all culls. So the farmer would go through and say, look, these horses won't make premier sales. They're a bit bent in the legs, or they're a bit, the shape's wrong, or we bred to that horse and he hasn't done anything, or whatever it may be, commercial or from a physical point of view. So they would put them in the weanling sales, let them go, and the majority of them weren't much good. But as time has gone on and the pinhawkers came in, then people said, hang on a minute, we can get good money for them as weanlings instead of yearlings. So the quality of horse just improved. In the last 20 years, it's now got to that stage where you can buy, Group 1 horse, winning horses from a weanling sale. And I think the first one, to my knowledge, that I can remember of commercial note was Piero, who was sold from Dali as part of their reduction sale of their stock. So Piero was essentially a cull as a foal, and I think he made 100, and I think the pinhawkers sold him, made 200, Gabe bought him, and he wins the slipper. Right. So, but it's been a very, very good place to shop for a long, long time. But the margins are just getting thinner and thinner.
Hey Jack, just on that horse, Angel Capital, JJ Atkins looks the target. $6 with the Green Cafe, $8 elsewhere. And broadsiding still in the market there, but wouldn't be too sure it heads there. The other one, Epi Mills, is still in the market, which is a rort. But
well, shout out to the tab if they're listening.
Shout
take
out.
Take it out of your market. It's not going to Gordon Gano. So do the right thing.
Yeah, 15s into 6s, Angel Capital. So,
well, they like to have a bet.
Mm.
You want to see market support, to be honest, with them before you part with any of yours. John, where should we go next?
Should we have a quick talk about our Alabama Express filly? Yeah. Just sent out an email to our client base earlier. Geez, we talked about him briefly there, but he's flying. He's had 10 runners for 6 winners. That's the only sire in Australia to have produced 6 two-year-old winners from less than 15 runners this season. So obviously he's flying. He's the fastest first season sire to surpass $1 million in progeny earnings ever. And as highlighted in the email we sent out to our client base there, the fillies are really flying the flag for him. Caravas, we saw, won the Ottawa Stakes, bet Anisa, obviously won the Percy Sykes, bet Hayazugi, who won the Blue Diamond. Also over in New Zealand, Alabama Lass won its maiden by 9.5 lengths before running second in a Group 2 at its second start. So fillies are certainly flying, and we couldn't have had much more of a better rap from Adrian Callboy, the breaker, as she went out for a little break.
Yeah, the final update from him was the most positive one I've ever heard. More positive than the previous one for it.
These reports make me desperate just to finally back a winner and get involved.
Yeah,
because
I'm
excited.
Yeah, you and me both. I'm still recovering from a mate of mine set these 2 horses up one day at Seymour about a fortnight ago. Still haven't recovered. But yeah, reports are outstanding so far for our Alabama Express filly. Kieran's doing a great job, and yeah, if you'd like to find out more, I'd just do it just to read this email. It's Jono's best ever piece of work, in my opinion. Get in touch, jono@themailbag.com.au. Alabama Express, an American blood, trained by Kieran Maher, broken in, spelling now, and we'll be back into it ASAP. Boys, I reckon that's about us for Just a Walk. Thanks, episode 4. I reckon, John.
3, I think.
Nah, kick up
Nah.
at 4. I just want to get another push. Obviously, you got this Maurice, the closer filly. They've won another 2-year-old race again, Waterhouse by.
Where?
In Sydney.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Will what they've done this season ever be matched, do you reckon?
I don't know. Bush, talk to me.
What give me the figures?
Heaps.
Yeah. I'm about the only guy who's lost on them. You know, they think one every week, and then the time when I got round to getting involved, they got beat. But yeah, pretty much every Wednesday and Saturday from late January to now, it feels like they've won the 2-year-old race.
Are they running at 66% metropolitan runners to winners or not?
Not quite, though.
I know a bloke.
Why do you mention that?
Yeah.
Stats are stats. That's all I'm saying.
Their 2-year-olds won 27 races this season and nearly 11 million in prize money.
Good God. Well, our Maurice, the closer filly, is currently being broken in, John.
Correct. Yep.
Our yes colt's been broken in. I think he's done a little bit more even after that. They are really like foot to the floor with the younger horses, which probably coincides and correlates with them having such a amount of success with the 2-year-olds. But the Maurice is into their system and ticking over really nicely. The report's positive so far. It's our first time getting reports though from them as breakers, so I'm not going to say it's the best we've ever heard. It's just really positive so far. But yeah, everything looks pretty good.
The yes is all sold out. So if you do want to be involved with us and gain Adrian, the Morris is for you.
Beautiful. That's Jono, JONO @themailbag.com.au. Boys, anything else we should go over before we wrap up episode 4? Another walk. Thanks. Just a walk. Thanks.
You'll get it right on the 4th episode. Nothing from me.
Rob?
Not really. Just
What's going on? Like, what's got you going at the moment? What's happening?
No, I'm just thinking. I'm just trying to put my feet in butcher's shoes and going against the trend of the confirmation bias that would be got the gambling side of the industry that follows the crowd. The breeding just seems even more inflamed, that sort of behavior. And I just added to it the other week, just in a little way, just by me getting so excited about that too darn hot, that sire line of stayers crossing with our sprinty squibbers and producing all these great horses. And yeah, I for some crazy reason it makes sense that he's gone to 110,000, which but I'm agreeing with everyone. So it's silly.
Yeah, no, we love positive, Rob. Well, as of Friday, lads, I'll be out at Warwick Farm inspecting weanlings at the upcoming weanling sale in Sydney. And I just looked at the weather forecast. It's about 20 mils a day for about 5 days straight. So that'll be fun. So
God bless it.
If you see someone on crutches running around slipping over out there, that'll be me.
It's the rain's what we want. We've got Just Folk running Hawkesbury on Saturday. Nash Rawilla booked to ride.
Jack, there's a chance it could be off. There's a chance.
Just hold up on the rain dance. We want less, not more.
Yeah, 10 to 50 on the day, they're saying, after 100 from the week. But it's missed it today. I just looked at the radar. It's all coastal today. But yeah, it's not looking good, Jack. Especially with that probably being race 7 or 8 on the day.
All right, well,
can you crack open a pen and cheer up? Because
No,
I'm trying to bring positive vibes on a fucking Tuesday afternoon, and I'm coughing that from you. All right. All right, that's all that is glass half empty shit, and we don't need it. All right. Basically, we've aimed our horse, our best horse, at a good race worth $250,000. We're praying for rain. It looks like it's coming. We booked a great rider that's really going to suit him, and we live in hope that the race is on and it's wet and it's a heavy 10 and he swims and we win. Right. Caulfield Saturday, Poland, back to a benchmark 84. Froggy knew it in the stick. Oh yeah. Sets up beautifully. He'll improve a stack. And then Sunday or Monday, Jono, Autumn Miss. Queensland's most potent maiden. She's ready. She's got the hoof right on the till. She'll be hard to beat wherever she goes. And that's another exciting filly butch for the autumn sun. Shout out to Arrowfield and Allison. I know she's one of our 4 listeners, I think, Butch. She gives a bit of feedback each and every episode. She put us into that horse, she says. I think we sort of bought it from her, but either way, we're happy we got it. She's happy we've got it, and it's going to be very competitive on Sunday or Monday, John.
We don't care who controls the narrative, Dicko. She might have sold it to us. We'll go with that. But very, very, very sharp operator, Alison. But Rob, I think
my favorite.
I think Rob, I think I can make your day. Pop out Sunday and we'll spend a bit of quality time together looking at very, very little ponies.
All right. Well, where was that at? Warwick Farm?
Yep.
Yeah, some chance. If I don't go to Hawkesbury, I'll have some chance to do that. Sounds more educational than looking at wet track types of Hawkesbury.
How long's the Uber out to Warwick Farm, Rob?
Oh, it's a decent fee.
No, it's not. Just go straight in the tunnel.
It's just like $50 or $60, I'd say.
Yeah, turn it up. There's nothing.
We'll have money from Saturday. I'll reimburse you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just have it all in Just Folk.
Well, anyway, I've got my 2 daughters' soccer games on Sunday, so you got to rip me away from those.
I'll be watching that. Pen
11-year-old scored from 18 yards. It was caught on video. And it's just me just going, "It's yours." And then lovely thud as the ball, she kicks it, and then 20 yards.
20, it just keeps increasing. It was 18 at the start of the sentence.
Okay, yeah, it might have been 20. Look, she plays on sort of 2/3 size pitch, so it's hard to gauge.
Okay, well, if you're too busy, maybe Mick will pop out and see me.
I'll do my best, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah, we might be able to do a bit of quality content out there.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what we want, boys.
What are you? How long are you out there for?
Mate, I'm living there for the next week, so if anywhere from Friday to Wednesday.
All right. If not Sunday, it's probably more likely Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday for me. Monday or Tuesday. Give me some company.
All right,
Good
that's Just a Walk. Thanks, episode 4. Have a phenomenal week wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Bye for now.